Welcome class 12. Here we are going to begin chapter 4, The Rat Trap from Flamingo book. The story is written by Selma Lagerlöf. Her full name is Selma Ottilia Lovisa Lagerlöf. She was a Swedish author and teacher. Her first novel, Gösta Berling's saga, was published at the age of 33. She was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, which was conferred to her in the year 1909. She was also granted a membership in the Swedish Academy in the year 1914. Her authorship is deeply rooted in the folk tales, legends, and stories from her home district in Värmland County, Sweden. And the words in her writings provide the realistic depiction of the people's circumstances, ideas, and social lives of the 19th century religious revival period. Now let's start the story. Before starting the chapter, let's know about the theme of the story. The story gives us a psychological insight into human nature. Here, the author highlights how greed for material things trap human beings into this world. Thus, the story upholds the belief that the essential goodness of human being can be awakened through love, compassion, and understanding. The story is set amidst the mines of Sweden. It begins like a fairy tale. The central character here is a beggar and a petty thief who goes about selling red strips of wire to make his small living. But he finds it difficult to make both ends meet. Then he reflects about his own condition and at the world at large. He fancies that the whole world is nothing but a big rat trap which is offering riches and varied baits to capture the people in its trap. The storyline unfolds how the various baits were provided to him, first by the old crofter in the form of his hospitality, but the bait of 30 kronor bill is enough to tempt him to do the stealing. Next, it is provided by the iron master for his mistaken identity, for providing him shelter for the Christmas Eve. And then, finally, another bait was full-hearted generosity and comfortable living by Adla, the iron master's daughter. However, the tramp undergoes a change of heart after experiencing the goodness of this girl. Thus, he attains nobility of spirit in his life. See the chapter. Once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small red strips of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. So here, the author starts the story by saying that there was a man who used to sell the small red strips made of wire. He used to make these red strips by himself by collecting the material by begging from the big stores or from the big farms. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. He had to resort to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. So he had to resort to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. To keep body and soul together, that means to survive. The author explains that as his business was not earning him the good profit. Therefore, he had to beg or steal in order to survive in this world. Even so, his clothes were in rags. So, always his clothes were old and torn. His cheeks were sunken. Sunken means dry or hollow. And his cheeks were always seemed to be very dry due to his malnutrition and poverty. And hunger gleamed in his eyes. Gleam means shine. Even anybody could easily see the hunger shining from his eyes. This shows the poor condition of this butler. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond who plods along the road left to his own meditations. But one day this man had fallen into a line of thought which really seemed to him entertaining. Monotonous means boring. Vagabond means a person who wanders from one place to another. Plod, that means to walk laboriously. Meditation, that means to lost in the deep thinking. Here the writer explains, no one can ever imagine how sad and boring life could be of such wanderer, as he had to walk along the road with his heavy feet and always got lost in his own thoughts. But one day he was lost in such series of thoughts which he found to be very interesting for himself. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, the whole world with its lands, seas, its cities and villages, was nothing but a big rat trap. So this man was thinking as usual about his rat traps. Suddenly a thought struck into his mind about this whole world. He thought this whole world around him was nothing but a big rat trap, and this rat trap includes the whole world with its lands, seas, cities, and villages. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits for people. It offered riches and joys, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork. As soon as anyone let himself be tempted to touch the bait, it closed on him, and then everything came to an end. Set bait means to offer temptations. Bait is the allurement or food placed on a hook to trap a rat inside it. Here it is referred to the comforts of life which is offered to trap a man inside the rat trap of this world. Here the rat trap seller thought that there was no meaning of the existence of this world, as it was nothing but a temptation which is offering the baits in the form of sometimes riches, joys, shelter, food, heat, and clothing. In the same way, just like cheese and pork are offered as a bait to catch the rat. So, accordingly, he thinks as soon as someone tries to comfort himself with these allurements, and at once he gets trapped into this rat trap of the world. The world had, of course, never been very kind to him, so it gave him unwanted joy to think ill of it in this way. It became a cherished pastime of his during many dreary ploddings to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare, and of others who were still circling around the bait. Unwanted joy means unusual happiness. Cherished means favorite or loving. Dreary means dull and long. Plodding means walks. Snare means dangerous or hateful looks. As no one in this world had ever been nice to this poor red trap seller, so it gave him limitless and rare happiness to think bad about the world by comparing it with this dirty rat trap. It became a cherished pastime of his. Cherished means favorite or loving during many dreary ploddings. Dreary ploddings, that means long, dull walks. To think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare. Snare, that means the hateful looks, and of others who were still circling around the gate. However, this thought of comparing the world with this ugly rat trap, it became his favorite pastime during his all long and boring walks. So he started becoming happy to think how the people who were giving him dangerous looks, they are all trapped in the rat trap of the worldly things. One dark evening, as he was trudging along the road, he caught sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside, and he knocked on the door to ask shelter for the night. Trudging, that means to walk with heavy steps due to the tiredness. Here the writer explains that one late evening time, when this man he was walking along the road, he saw a little grey cottage on the side of the road. He thought he should take night shelter in this cottage, so he knocked at the door. Nor was he refused. Instead of the sore faces which ordinarily met him, the owner was an old man without wife or child, was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. Sore face means bitter looks of the people. So, very surprisingly, the poor man found that this time he was not refused, and even he didn't get the discarding look of someone. But the owner of this house was an old man who had no family, no wife or child, and he was pleased to get the company of someone during the night. Immediately he put the porridge pot on the fire and gave him supper. Then he carved off such a big slice from his tobacco roll that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his own. Porridge, that is a food prepared by mixing meal or cereal in the boiling water. Carved up means to divide something into parts. Here, the poor peddler, he was more surprised to see the hospitality of this old man for this unknown stranger. He served him the porridge. He put immediately this porridge on the stove and served him in his dinner. And then he cut off a big slice from his tobacco roll for sharing with the stranger. Finally, he got out an old pack of cards and played Majolis with his guest until bedtime. Majolis is a game played in the Sweden with the pack of cards. Thus, not only this old man served him food and shared his tobacco roll, but he also entertained this stranger by playing the game of cards with him till the bedtime. The old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. Generous means liberal or kind. Confidences means secrets. The guest was informed at once. In his days of prosperity, his host had been a crafter at Remzo Iron Work and had worked on the land. Prosperity, that means the days of riches. Crafter here means farmer. The red trap seller found this man was not only kind enough in sharing his porridge and tobacco, but also he was quite generous to share his life secrets with this stranger. Crafter means farmer. He said in his good days he was a farmer at the Remzo Iron Work and he was working hard on the farm. And now that he was no longer able to do day labor, it was his cow which supported him. But now, as he had grown old, he couldn't do the hard labor. That's why it was his cow which was supporting his existence. His dad Bossy was extraordinary. She could give milk for the creamery every day, and last month he had received all of 30 kronor in payment. Bossy stands for the cow. Creamery here means the butter factory. The old man also shared with him that his cow is so special it used to give the sufficient milk regularly to be sold in the factory that produce cheese and butter. He said due to this cow he was able to earn 30 kronors every month, though in his old age too. 30 kronor is the currency of Sweden. The stranger must have seemed incredulous, for the old man got up and went to the window and took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame and picked out 3 wrinkled 10 kronor bills. Incredulous means unbelieving. Now the old man thought that the stranger might not be believing how an old man could have that much earning. So without wasting any moment, he got up and went near the window and took down the leather pouch which was hanging on the nail just above the window frame and showed 3 notes of 10 kronor each, which were old and crushed, to this stranger. These he held up before the eyes of his guest, nodding knowingly, and then stuffed them back into the pouch. Just after showing those currency notes to make him believe, then he kept back the money into the same pouch. The next day, both men got up in the good season. The crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought he should not stay in bed. When the head of the guest had gotten up, they left the cottage at the same time. The crofter locked the door and put the key in his pocket. The man with the red traps said goodbye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way. In a good season means early enough time. Next morning, both the red trap seller and the crofter woke up early in the morning, as the crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow. Even the red trap seller felt the need that if the owner of the house had awakened, so he also had to leave the bed. They both came out of the cottage at the same time. Then the old man locked the door and kept the key with him, and then went to his work. The red trap seller also thanked him and went on his way. But half an hour later, the red trap peddler stood again before the door. He didn't try to get in. However, he only went up to the window, smashed a pane stuck in his hand, and got hold of the pouch with the 30 kronor. He took the money and thrust it into his own pocket. Then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. Peddler here means seller. Smashed means to break badly. Here it is explained, this red trap seller, he returned back within half an hour to the cottage, and he broke down the window pane. He didn't try to break the door. Peddler means seller. Smashed means to break badly. Here it is explained, within half an hour, the red trap seller returned back to the cottage, and he stood before the door of this cottage. But he didn't try to get in through the door, but simply he went up to the window and broke the window pane and took down the pouch of the money of the 30 kronor, and then after taking the money he put the pouch back at its place and then walked away. As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway but must turn off the road into the woods. Now the peddler was quite happy to steal the money of the old crofter. He kept it in his pocket. But he thought that it would not be safe to walk on the highway now because he could be caught anytime. So he planned to walk through the forest. Woods means forest. During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty. Later in the day, it became worse, for it was a big and confusing forest which he had got into. Initially, it was not difficult for him to walk through the forest, but later on, he realized that he had got into the confusing forest. Thus, his condition became very worse. He tried to be sure to walk in a definite direction, but the paths twisted back and forth so strangely. He walked and walked without coming to the end of the wood, and finally he realized that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest. Now he tried hard to walk in the right direction, but in vain, as he found himself at the same place again and again. He was walking on, but there was no end of the forest. In this way, he forgot his way in this forest. All at once, he recalled his thoughts about the world and the rat trap. Now his own turn had come. He had let himself be fooled by a bait and had been caught. However, at this point of time, he started thinking that he himself was caught now in the trap of the world, just like the other people had been. He was fooled by the bait of money of that old crofter which he had stolen from his house. The whole forest, with its trunks and branches, its thickets, had fallen. Logs closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. Thickets means a dense group of bushes. Impenetrable means impossible. Here the rat trap seller felt the whole forest with its trunks, branches, its bushes and fallen logs had now closed upon him like an impossible prison from which he would never come out. He realized that it was all due to touching the bait of the money of the crofter which he had stolen from his house. So, due to this mistake, he would now be imprisoned for the lifelong here in this confusing forest. So he felt due to this mistake of touching the bait of the money of the crofter, he would be now lifelong stuck in this confusing forest. He start now regretting. Next paragraph. It was late in December. Darkness was already descending over the forest. This increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Descending means spreading or falling down. Gloom means sadness. Despair means hopelessness. Here the writer says, as it was the month of December, it now got dark quite early in the forest, as the darkness had spread all over the forest quite early. It increased the danger to life to this rat trap seller. So, with this increased the hopelessness of this rat trap seller. Finally, he saw no way out and he sank down on the ground, tired to death. thinking that his last moment had. So there was no hope left for his survival in life now. So he sat on the ground as he was very much tired and scared. He started assuming that this was his last moment and soon he would die. But just as he laid his head on the ground, he heard a sound, a hard, regular thumping. Thumping means the sound of some heavy object beating. The moment he laid his head on the ground, he heard a very strong, regular beating sound like hammer. It was a hard sound that was coming at the regular intervals. There was no doubt as to what that was. He raised himself. Those are the hammer stocks from an iron mill. He thought there must be people nearby. He summoned all his strength, got up and staggered in the direction of the sound. Summoned means gathered. Stagger means to walk with difficulty. Thus, he soon realized that these sounds were the sounds of hammered stocks, which were coming from the nearby iron mill. He thought that he would find some people nearby. With this thought, he gathered all his strength and started walking with difficulty towards the direction of the sound. The Ramso Iron Works, which are now closed down, were not so long ago a large plant with smelter, rolling mill, and forge. In the summertime, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows slid down the canal, which led to a large inland lake. And in the winter time, the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust, which sifted down from the big charcoal crates. Children, smelter is a machine in which metal is melted to give it different shapes. Forge is a factory or a shop where the metal is heated. Barge is a long flat bottom boat used for the transportation in the water. Scows are the flat bottom boats again used for transportation into the water. Sifted, that means descend lightly. Rolling mill means machine to roll metal into the sheets. The writer has given description about the famous Ramso iron work here. That was a large iron plant which had shut down few years ago. It had smelter, rolling mill and a factory. In summers, long flat bottom boats used to carry the material which come down through the canal which led to the large inland lake for supplying material to this mill. And in winters, the roads turned to be dark and black because of the coal dust that slid down due to the transportation of the charcoal crates over there. So, nobody was found except this charcoal dust on the roads in the winter season there. During one of the long dark evenings, just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat in the dark forge near the furnace, waiting for the pig iron which had been put in the fire to be ready to put on the anvil. Anvil is a heavy iron block with a flat top and concave sides. Here the writer informs, just after hearing the thumping sound of the hammer from the Ramso iron work, the Rattrapseller, he reached to have the night shelter there. He found there the process of beating the pig iron. It was going on by the workers. Both of them were taking turns and getting up to change the side of the heating iron mass with the help of a long iron bar. As was the custom, the worker was in the dress of the long shirt and wearing the pair of wooden shoes. All the time, there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. The fireboy shoveled charcoal into the maw of the furnace with a great deal of clatter. Outside roared the waterfall, and a sharp north wind whipped the rain against the brick tiled roof. Bellows are the airbag or the pipes that emits a stream of air used for blowing air into the fire. Shovel means to push. Maw means the mouth. Clattering, that means rattling sound of the rain. Whipped, that means striking of the wind. Here the writer infers that all the time the different types of sounds were always going on in the forge. There was the sound of the big bellow which was blowing air in the fire with much sound. Also there was sound of cracking coal, and one could also hear the bang of the charcoal which was being shoveled by the fire boy. There were also some sounds coming from outside the mill. These include the sound of the flowing of the waterfall and the moving of the high speed north wind which was hitting the raindrops against the brick tiled roof. It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith didn't notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge until he stood close up to the furnace. Here, the writer infers that this might be the reason of these disturbing sounds, that the blacksmith didn't notice that some stranger had opened the gate and entered inside the factory until he stood very close to him near the furnace.